Alright, so picking back up, this is my live stream. This is actually picking up at that point. My opponent, he had to take a, not had to, he took a vacation. Good for him. And he let me know, so it was all good. We're picking back up again. I'm a little rusty remembering where exactly I was with everything. So I'm just doing, I did a quick scan, you know, here I was doing the whole France Karelia stack. I do remember this is the one where I had my 2 bombers and he sniped them with a nice little bombardment, that's right. But he got a delayed fleet, so he's a little bit slow getting his units up and going because of the air that I had going, and he's been sticking it to me pretty good with his Russians, so I do remember that. But the good news is it looks like Japan's starting to get pushed up here, and he's definitely going to have to pull some UK back to keep me from trying to stack Kaza, so looks like we're starting to get ramped up with Japan. We're certainly grabbing some income. Round 5. I think we're going to be able to buy the factory number 3 to up our production, plus we're still going to be grabbing a little bit of bonus money in Africa. A little awkward here, only got the 1 transport, and this is the game that unfortunately I did have to waste money, so we are going to have a little bit of damper in my unit build. You know, where I was only able to, looks like 8 units, or well, 9 units. I'll be able to be moving here when I want to be moving 11 out of here. So, you know, that is what it is. So we lost 2 units because we had to build 2 destroyers because of my misplay with the fleets a little bit. So here we are. I had 37 IPC, so we are going to build 1 artillery because I do got to start worrying about dead zoning France. So I made a comment, and you know, this is as I said, from the Book of Quentin. He said that at some point, as Germany, you have to decide: are you going to stack Karelia or are you going to stack France? You can't keep doing them both forever. And if he was doing the Mediterranean, I might be more tempted to shift down dead zone Karelia and keep France stacked and be able to pivot stack, stack shift, you know, the large stacks, and minimize what the damage the Med's doing. But since we made his fleet be awkward and everything, and he doesn't have a Med fleet going right now, I'm going to lean towards let's face him 1-to-1, ramping up on the Karelia pressure. So we're going to continue to pump as much into Karelia as we can, and if he makes a move back down here now that he's got fleet going, it's all mixed, right? He's got UK mixed with US, so if I can work on getting these other Japan fighters kind of over in this area, it'll make it very awkward for him to move around if he tries to get to the Med now. So, all that being said, the race to Karelia is where I want to focus in on. I want to continue to pump units this way and defend Karelia as long as I can to prevent the UK and US troops from starting to leak into Moscow and give Japan long enough to come in. Now, the trick to this is we got to get enough pressure, you know, here in Japan. Like I said, I assume he's going to step back, so he'll dead zone Kaza still. So we'll move up this way on J5 and hopefully have enough to push into Novo on J6, which is going to make him have to get off of the Russian part of West Russia. Once Russia gets out of West Russia, that makes Karelia that much more easier to hold, because this is obviously the big punch 3, right? You know, we're worried about the 1, 2, and then the bigger punch 3. So it's kind of a race to, can he force me off of Karelia before I force him off West Russia, is the biggest race right now. I've been helping by trying to put, you know, the 6 transport pressure on India. I'll have that for this one more turn, but after this turn, these 2 transports are going to move where they're not threatening, and I'm only going to have 4, so he's going to be dumping more people coming from this direction back up, though. And now they'll be working their way up to reinforce West Russia. So, looks like I'm hoping that right around J6 maybe we can put pressure to that, maybe Russia 7, be able to pull him off of West Russia. That might be ambitious, but that's what I'm thinking about right now. down here in the Africa play, because UK goes next and I want these units to stay alive, I'm just going to leave my artillery there as a plug, let him be killed. If I moved him to grab a unit, then he could tank infantry, take a 50-50 shot, and decrease the expansion of Japan, whereas the best he can do now is hit that. His fighters can't reach here, so next turn I can do, if he leaves in there, 1 infantry and some fighters, and 1 infantry down here, and then just, you know, make the most out of getting as much out of this as we can. Make him bring one of these transports down this way to reinforce. He may have enough to do here. So, there's all the different thoughts I got going right now. Back up to this. So we're going to go ahead and build 12. We don't have to worry about building it in Italy, since we don't have a fleet over here anymore. So, my home game volume's a little on the high side there. Let's cut that down a little bit. There we go. One thing I didn't look at, so I'm going to be pulling out of here back into Berlin, making sure I keep France dead zoned. I'm going to need to pull 2 tanks out this turn, even with the build, and that if I'm going to move all 10 of these units to the east, which I want to. Some to Poland, some to the Baltic. I do want to make sure. It gets a little bit tricky going through the Baltic because he does have these 4 U.S. transports, but really, if he takes a U.S. transport and a 5 to hit them, that slows that transport two turns from getting units into here. So that's basically taking 4 units away from Norway, Finland to attack here in addition to anything he brings. So, you know, 1 transport is costing him 6 units in essence. So, unless he's winning it by 6 units, it's, you know, I'm not, you know, super flustered if he has to use the US. But the UK, I don't really want to give him a nice easy shot with the UK because UK doesn't lose time. And so what I mean by that is, like, take this 1 transport, he could go 1 turn, 2 turn, dropping 2 units here. If he goes 1 turn, 2 turn out, 3 turn to come grab units, and then the 4th turn he's dropping units back up. So there's 2 turns lost, so that transport could have been shucking units going up here. So in any case, that's what I'm going at. And actually, I guess 2 turns is actually just 1 set, so it would be a 4, as long as it's not a +4 value for him to go in there. +4 infantry, +12 IPC in essence. So it's kind of a weird math, but I'm not as upset if he uses US to hit me. But UK, he does have 4 fighters, a cruiser, and a transport that can hit it. So we need to make sure that we've got enough units in there to make it worthwhile. We can leave the AA in there, so that's good news. I want to say 7 was kind of the magic number that I needed, if I remember right. No, I mean, we can get by with 6. Even 5's not bad. Alright, so we'll be okay. We'll be able to defend that well enough, I think. Not attacking down there, not attacking there. I think that's all. Oh, might as well use the bomber, right? We're not keeping France stacked, so to take the shot on here, it would be a suicide mission, so it's not really worth it. Four. Six, bring him down here. Huh, this artillery bomber, that would buy Japan some time, unless I only killed the infantry and the tank lived. Then it doesn't buy me time. That'd be a bit risky. I could move, now that I think about it, we could move the artillery down to here, and then it would be tougher for him to do the 1-2. And if Japan comes down here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we leave our bomber in Italy with whatever we do, bring this artillery down. So what if we did? What if we brought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Because I don't really need to use the bomber this turn, right? I mean, we could just to reassure that hit, but we could put the artillery and the bomber down here. Then he'd only have an infantry artillery, and I could use the artillery bomber for 1 strike, and then I got the infantry and 2 fighters for a strike. Interesting thought. Because worst case, Japan moves out, and then it's U.S. and Russia have the turn. But you know, we'll have the artillery over top of the bomber. I guess the U.S. could 1, 2, 3. You know, could use the bomber, 1 bomber versus the artillery bomber. I really don't want to use Japan to attack them with next turn. I mean, I've got more infantry just following you, and I think I'm trying to split hairs over an IPC or 2. Let's just keep it simple. It's 4, so I'll have to land in Karelia. Are we okay with that? Let's not have him go over here. And instead we'll use one of you guys over there, use the bomber over here. There we go. If he gets 2 hit backs, someone knows I'm chasing him. I'm coming after him. He's not getting 2 hit backs. Just smooth kills. I like to keep a lot of the, keep the German infantry alive, make Russia have to fight to get them back too. That's a bummer. I was hoping to save Japan, let them keep consolidating their units a little bit more. But at least it's just a single walk-in for them. Alright, I'm checking my Karelia calculator, so we're going to have bring everybody back in this way to start with. So, you know, when I was calculating the dead zone of France, right, I figured all of these 13 guys plus the 9 infantry and 1 artillery that I'll be building in France, plus my 5 fighters, and it wasn't quite enough. I really was more comfortable having 2 tanks be in the picture as well. So 2 tanks would be coming down in here, and if I bring the tanks back to here, then I can land more fighters up here, and I can still pump the infantry. I want to keep as much infantry going this way as possible. I don't want to bring infantry back. So if I can move these 7 infantry forward and these 10 infantry going east, at least to some degree, then I want to move them all that way, get them going to the front line. The tanks can jump back and forth to the front line, you know, as quickly as they need to. So any 1, 2, 3, he can't reach me. Any bombers? Bomber down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He could. The U.S. bomber could get me after UK takes France, so we don't want to do that. We'll see if any opportunity. I doubt I'm going to use the bomber down there to help at all, but opportunity might arise. Who knows? So that's going to give me 18 infantry up here, which is better than what I was thinking I was going to do. We need to move at least 6 guys. Move 4 into here to help with Ukraine. We're going to move 2 tanks back. Now, I could put those tanks in Baltic and it'd still be dead zoning France, but then I do worry putting the tanks there might be tempting for the US. So I'm going to end the turn here. I might put those 2 tanks back into Baltic if it's not too costly for the transports the US to go ahead and hit in there, because it could then become a point where, yeah, we should go ahead and hit in there. I do think I want to go ahead and double check my defense profile, make sure I got my save AA going. I do. Okay. Because I don't want him taking the bombardment shot on me again. So, alright, I'm going to end the video here. The only thing that might change is instead of 2 tanks here, I might put them in there, might shuffle my people around just a little bit, if that's advantageous, just because I like having them there where they can still be putting pressure on West Russia as well, because, I mean, he does have to pay attention to the fact that I've got a fair amount of pressure coming on him, and 2 more tanks to that would be nice.